Yeah, well, I'm gonna go break down a 48-day dry age ribeye and have one.
Hello and welcome to the Invincible podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and Ryan Ottley. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and joining me for the last time in 2020 is TJ.
No, Ryan, today is the 1st of January if you're listening to this the day it comes out. So Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! We're joined by Bill, of course.
Hi, everyone.
How was your holiday, guys?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, my Christmas was. I mean, I've got kids, so again, every holiday is usually a little bit more fun for me than you guys.
I'm pretty sure I listened back to the 2019 episode, and it started the exact same way. It was like,
so
"Hey guys, how you doing? How was your holiday?" And Bill goes, "Well, I have kids."
I still have kids. They're still here, living off of me, eating all my food.
But doesn't it make the holidays better in a way though?
Having kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. My holiday was probably better than your guys'.
Okay.
Because, yeah. Riker had the best. He even said, he was like, this is the best Christmas I have ever had. Because he got, so many cool things. We got him an airsoft gun.
Okay.
My dad got him a BB gun. He got a ton of cool Nerf guns.
Jeez, so just a ton of guns.
A ton of guns.
So I had no idea that apparently Riker was super into Nerf guns.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, can you tell them what I got Riker?
So TJ got Riker the Andrea's sniper rifle.
No way.
The Walking Dead. And Riker he was super fucking excited. And TJ, I'm not joking, he literally just carried it around the house with him all day for
There's a Nerf gun version of Andrea's sniper?
That.
Yeah, dude, I literally was just like walking around Target and I just saw it and I'm like, holy shit, I'm getting this for somebody.
So did you see the shotgun, TJ?
Yeah, it was nuts.
So the shotgun, Riker's friend Mason got the Walking Dead shotgun, and it's a double barrel shotgun, and it clicks down and you load the Nerf bullet into a shell. So then you put both the bullets in, right? And then when you shoot them both and when you pop it back open, the shells eject. It's so fucking awesome. Like, it is cool. So cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, TJ, I'm not exaggerating. He would carry it around the house with him.
I didn't even
3 days after you got it for him.
I didn't even know there was Walking Dead Nerf guns.
Yeah, I didn't either. I literally just saw it on the shelf and I had to get it. I was pretty proud of that one.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
I'm glad he liked it. it.
Well, this isn't a Walking Dead podcast. It's an Invincible podcast. If you want to be a part of it, you can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. You can also find us over at theinvinciblepodcast.com, where we have all the episodes listed, as well as a reading guide and more. We are also the Oblivion Song podcast, where we've got an issue coming up next month, or this month in January, which is going to be the final issue in an arc.
In the fifth story arc.
So this will be the end of trade paperback 5 once it's out. Very excited to see what happens at the end of that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that does it. We've got a pretty exciting episode here. Not only are we going to be doing our looking back at 2020 discussion that we have been doing for the last couple years now on the first week of every January, but there's some really interesting and exciting Invincible-related news that has happened within the last month. So we're going to kick it off first with the CCXP panel from Brazil for Amazon Prime. So this was announced within like a couple weeks of it actually happening, and they had said on the panel, or in the announcement, that on the panel would be Robert Kirkman and J.K. Simmons, Stephen Yeun, and a few others. I mean, what it was
Zazie Beetz,
Zachary Quinto, and
the girl who plays Eve.
I can't remember her name right now.
TJ, you
Karen Gillian. No, that's
Karen Gillian is Nebula.
That's Nebula.
what's her name? TJ, she played Azula, didn't she?
No.
No, she played somebody else though. Again.
You trying to find it?
Yep.
Well, anyways,
We're dumb. We're not. We don't deserve this podcast. How is it not like one of the top ones?
Oh my God, people are screaming. I know it. I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It failed you.
Bill, did you end up watching it?
Gillian Jacobs.
Oh, okay. So who was close?
I mean, you got the first name for the last name and didn't even know the last name, first name.
But at least it makes sense now. At least it makes sense.
Close is just another word for failure.
Boom.
Yeah.
If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Yeah, I watched up until... So I watched all of Robert Kirkman's, and then they talked a little bit to Stephen Yeun, and then they talked to J.K. Simmons after that, and that's where I stopped.
I thought it was really cool. I mean, especially seeing all of them together talking about this show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, this is something that I remember we thought we'd get around San Diego, then we thought we would get it around New York Comic Con.
Right.
So getting it here was
cool, is we've been wanting that, exactly that.
Yeah, seeing fucking Academy Award winner J.K. Simmons talking about playing Omni-Man is just come on. So some interesting things that they had mentioned. Stephen Yeun mentioned that Mark has his secrets, which I thought was an interesting thing to say, and I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that.
One thing.
Yeah.
This isn't related to the panel. However, you made mention of J.K. Simmons being Academy Award winner.
Mm-hmm.
They're not out yet, but there are predictions that Stephen Yeun is going to be nominated for an Academy Award.
I need to watch that movie. Yeah.
What movie?
See, you're putting us on the spot again.
No.
Wow, we're terrible at this.
On the tip of my tongue too. We can't watch it until like first week of February. It was just released at like festivals and stuff. It's not.
Yeah, it's
I gotcha. So it would be the Academy...
Minari.
Yeah.
For next year, then obviously.
It looks great.
No, it was released this year, but not like worldwide.
Okay.
Check out the trailer afterwards.
This year's Oscars.
I think what I was most excited for, J.K. Simmons was talking about how he had, when he first read it and what he got excited for. He was like, yeah, I was really excited for it. I thought he was going to spoil something for us.
Dude, the entire time
when he was talking about, like, he only read the first 3 episodes, I'm like, go on, JK. What did you read in the first 3 episodes? Like, so it would be, we'd know what he was talking about, but he didn't really spoil anything. So.
Yeah, the whole time they were just struggling so bad with this.
They were dancing. They were dancing around, you know.
Yeah. But you can't blame them. That was great. Like, that they actually were like, yeah, things get a little... And yeah.
But I didn't like it though. Well, like one of the actors, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Gillian Jacobs who said like, "Oh yeah, that comes into play with she was talking about the relationship between maybe it was I don't know, but she was talking about the relationship between Omni-Man and Mark, and straight up was like, but things take a turn for the things end up taking a turn, but I won't spoil anything. And I'm like, well, fucking...
Nah. I mean, that's kind of spoiling.
I think it's so... I mean, I'm impressed with how much they actually didn't.
The interviewer, one of his questions made me be like, dude, did you even read the comic book? Like,
I don't think he did.
Yeah, because he asked Zazie Beetz, he was like, so Amber, the only person on this panel who doesn't have superpowers, how does she, like, hold her own... against all these superpowered people? And I was like, that's not a relevant question. Like,
I disagree. That's like, him. That was basically him asking, hey, you're a person without powers. How do you fit into all this? Like, where do you...
Okay. That's different.
What you said is different. I
actually think that's the question he asked, but it also wasn't his first language. I think that's what he meant.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You think so?
Yeah. Because that's kind of how she answered it.
Do you think, Ryan? Do you think that the interviewer read the comic? I just felt like he didn't, and I
didn't really get the impression one way or the other. I think it was fine. Yeah.
I got the impression that he didn't read it, and I actually liked that because it made his questions kind of more relevant.
Yeah.
Because he's like legit asking these questions.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked J.K. Simmons talked about how unlike a lot of other VO sessions and projects that he's done, in this, he actually had a few instances where he recorded in the booth together with Sandra Oh or Stephen Young.
Yeah. And when he said it was a few instances, but they were like either very like comedic parts or very like emotional parts.
Yes.
So that's cool that they
They
specifically had them in the room for specific scenes to record together to get real reactions. I think that was really cool.
Yes.
I'm super excited to see what that's about.
Yep. Zazie Beetz talks about how how she met Mark is because Todd, this bully, starts to pick on her or something like that, and Mark kind of helps out, or she like inferred that something like that was going on. So it seems like Amber is going to be part of that Todd, clash in the school, instead of just randomly walking up to him, giving him a phone number, and walking away. And I thought it was also interesting that they asked Zachary Quinto how Robot compares to Spock, because it's something that we've been talking about for so long
from day one.
Yeah, about how it's somewhat of a similar character, and again, dancing around spoilers, he did a good job answering that. But that's not all. The panel ended with Robert Kirkman giving us more casting.
I feel like this was like months ago. Doesn't it feel like a really long time ago?
This is less than a month ago. Isn't that crazy?
I've been really? I feel like
yes.
I definitely, I know it was, but it doesn't feel like that. And I've like been waiting to talk about this. So
I know.
Continue.
Should I pull up my text here, and I will send it to you guys in case you wanted to look, because I'm amazed at how, like, you could tell me that this was the live action cast, and I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's perfect. It's not only like visually, it works too. Like this casting is amazing. So we got Clancy Brown as Damien Darkblood, someone that we had kind of known that Clancy Brown was going to be involved. Like there was some sort of leak out there, and we didn't know.
Twitter,
that's what it was. He said,
yeah, on Twitter, he was like, just finished recording for Invincible or something like that.
Yes, yeah. He listed projects that he had done VO for, and Invincible is one of them. And there had never been anything other. What's that, TJ?
So on a previous episode, I predicted, one of my predictions for the show is that not all of the Guardians are going to die all at one time like they did in the comic books, and it's going to be more of a mystery.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then Damien Darkblood is going to play a bigger role than he did in the comic.
Do you think he's going to be a little bit more prominent? Because Clancy Brown has done like on Rick and Morty, he does like one character, one scene per season, and it's like nothing. It's just the way that he operates.
Are so many big names in this. There has to be several big names that only get a tiny bit. Like, it's impossible. Yeah. How are all of these actors going to get the time that their pedigree deserves?
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of these like have to.
But like,
some
right?
of these are significant.
So Dijon
But at the same
Hounsou
time,
is the Martian Emperor. That came out of left field, so we didn't know about any of these except for the one towards the end here. But that's awesome. That is perfect casting. I love that.
Yeah. For Martian Martian Emperor. Yep.
Ezra Miller, D.A. Sinclair. Which,
I love that.
Sorry, backing up for a second now. Mark's going to Mars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which happens early on. Wait.
What was my prediction?
Yeah, it happens long after the fight.
Wow.
Oh, at least a little ways after the fight. Same with D.A. Sinclair in the Reaniman. That happens after the fight.
I mean, they could change up so many things. Happens before when.
I agree.
So that means nothing. Because not a lot of interesting things happen to Mark before the fight. Yeah. Really, nothing happens. They have to. I mean, they can literally take out everything about the high school, fucking science teacher or whatever, and replace it with Mars stuff. Mm-hmm. Totally seeable. So
we knew that D.A. Sinclair was in it because we assumed that was him in the trailer getting smacked. So we've got D.A. Sinclair, we've got the Reaniman arc, we've got that happening. Next up, we've got Jeffrey Donovan as Machine Head, which is awesome. Another really great casting. Here's where things get interesting. And I think should we come back to it? We're going to come back to those. Yeah. I'm going to skip down to Jonathan Groff. Jonathan Groff is in this as Rick Sheridan. How cool is that?
from Frozen
And Hamilton.
and Hamilton.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that both Rick and William have played the king on Broadway. It's perfect.
Oh yeah,
It's perfect. And then the one that was leaked or whatever, put into an article, was Mahershala Ali as Titan, which again, another Academy Award winning actor.
Plus, that's been everywhere online for like, he was like the first one that went up online, even though it was said to be a rumor. It was the one that was most prominent.
It was in some article where he had mentioned, or his someone on his team or whatever had mentioned that he had been doing the voice work for it. But still, confirmation is there. That's it. We know everyone. But then there's Nicole Byer voicing 2 new characters, Fiona and Vanessa. Now, what's interesting about this is, unlike why can't I think of her name? Azula. Give me a second. I've got it right here.
Gillian Jacobs?
Unlike pulling it up. Grey Griffin. Unlike Grey Griffin, who's playing Shrinking Ray and young Amanda, this is a character that's playing 2 new characters, and we don't know either of them. So are those 2 characters related? I mean, is it like a Mahler twin situation where you've got someone playing 2 characters who have the same voice?
TJ seems to think that it's the old bait and switch, I'm assuming.
So do you want to...
It's bullshit.
So then
And so was
we
the
got
next one.
motherfucking John Hamm voicing Steve.
Yeah.
That is so John Hamm voicing Steve is such a Kirkman joke.
I love it. I love it.
We know his sense of humor. There's no way.
I feel like
John Hamm has got to be. Go ahead.
I feel
Ryan,
like
say it.
Kirkman could have been like, all right, guys, let's just say John Hamm is voicing Omnipotus. You know, let's just throw that name out there. Everybody will be like, oh, okay, cool. But really, he's voicing someone else. But no, let's just call him Steve.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's funny.
So do you guys think John Hamm he's one of 2 characters? He's either Thrag
He's one character.
or Conquest.
He's Thrag.
He is
you think
100% Thrag.
He's
You
Thrag.
think he's Thrag?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's perfect. It's so good. I think it should be. And I think that it's going to be a 5-minute tease at the end of the last episode where he has like a couple lines and that's it. In fact, I almost wish, and you're saying that he's going to be in the preview,
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
which works
They're
into
gonna
your
play-
story if it happens in like episode 2 or something.
Yeah, the story that Omni-Man tells Mark about the World Betterment Committee, it's going to be a story, but it's going to be more in depth. It's not going to be necessarily him just narrating it at all, but it's going to have like actually showing what happens, and John Hamm is going to have some dialogue there.
So much happens.
And in the final episode, when he reveals what actually happened.
I disagree. I think it's going to be like this. So much happens in an hour. So much fucking happens in an entire hour, and we get 8 of them.
8 hours.
1,000%.
An hour is forever. It's forever.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. How much can they really do? Like, if you sit down and read Invincible for an hour, you can finish an entire trade, probably 2, maybe 3. So, like...
So I think we just lost audio for a second there, or at least I did. So if Bill, you just said in an hour you can read a whole trade, maybe 3. What did you say after that?
So I said there's going to be so much time to fill that we're probably going to get Thrag backstory that we never got before. I don't mean like backstory like origin story, but I just mean like what's happening behind the scenes in the Viltrum Empire. We might see more planets being taken over, like something that we didn't see until later on in the comic, that they're putting like, you know.
So then
they're gonna shift perspectives from like Earth to Viltrum to space to like, you know, all that.
Imagine
stuff. I think we're gonna get a lot more.
Imagine seeing Thrag in the in Nolan's Lie, and he's a good guy doing good things, and then we see Thrag in Nolan's Truth, and it's the actual Thrag that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be that. I disagree that it's going to be what Bill said. Hold on, something's popping up here. because they need to. I think it's that they need to establish Thrag as a character so that he can come back later. However, I don't think that they're going to dive too deep into his character because he doesn't come into it until fucking way later. So if they're continuously building up his character and building him as a threat, and then not really having the payoff of him being a threat until like season 3 or 4, I don't think that they would do that. Just put it just like the comic. Just put him in here, bits and pieces here and there, establish the character, and then have him come back hard in like season 3.
Is there anyone else you think he could be? Just like, okay, we all kind of agree that he's
Conquest.
most likely to so Conquest. That'd be crazy, man. To do Conquest at the it'd have to be at the end of the season, but I'll go a step further with the whole flashbacks and stuff. Who says Conquest wouldn't be in those too? Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be a lot though.
I don't know who I hear as Conquest. You're probably right though. I don't think Conquest is like a villain that shines bright, but like shines the brightest, but dies very quickly in terms of like time in the comic. But Thrag has a lot of stay power. Like after doing a reread, he's in the comic a lot. So I think John Hamm would probably do something like that. I don't know.
And so
I see John Hamm as more reserved. That's why I think.
Yeah, I see that too.
Man,
but then again, like you never know where they can go with voices because I mean, honestly, like all of us were surprised that Seth Rogen is Alan. Like that
dude,
to me, that doesn't sound like it.
The guy who's playing
Conquest could get announced next week as like fucking Patrick Stewart. We don't know.
The guy who's playing shoot, I should look it up. Is it Donald? It's not Cecil. I think it's the guy who's playing Donald. Voice is Mickey Mouse. Like, there's so much range.
know.
Chris Dianopoulos or whatever. Is he Donald? I can't remember. There's so many people.
Yeah.
There's so many people in this show. It's unreal. At this point, it's like some kind of record. I
don't know. I think we're just following it like we've never followed anything before. I'm
Dude,
sure if we look back and look at voice
find
casting,
anything else, a movie, any show that has like this tier of a cast.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna look up John Hamm to see that he was in like an episode of Ninja Turtles back like in the day.
But in that episode of Ninja Turtles, who else was in it? You know what I mean? What other Oscar-winning actors were in that? And then so as far as Nicole Byer, are we again similar to him, Viltrumites or something?
Yeah, it's gonna be something that. Yeah, it's not gonna be those characters that they announced.
Yeah.
Fiona or I mean, it could be. Maybe they're trying to like.
I mean, Kirkman has said that they want to do side stuff similar like you said.
It's possible that they. I mean, that they may dig into him as a student more in order for them to dig into him as a student, they need more like other classmates.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he only ever talks to Eve.
I mean, these could be Amber's. She could be playing one of Amber's friends. I don't know if we got their names. We might have, but yeah, she could be one of Amber's friends, and then the other one could be, another classmate or maybe a friend of Debbie's or something. I don't know.
John Hamm was in a show in a cartoon for one episode in 2018 called Big City Greens.
Yeah.
Just saying, that's one episode. Who's to say that he's not one episode, as Conquest?
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. Oh boy. All right, that's only one of our 3 news topics here. So we're moving on. We good?
Yep. Let's do it.
We have action figures, and we know what they look like. So, Sean Kirkham over on Comics Vault Live mentioned that we'd be getting action figure news fairly soon, and then a week or so later, we got it. First through comicbook.com, and then straight up through Skybound, we've got an article, and I think they look great. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they look like quality action figures that look like they're from the animated show. They don't look like they're from the comic book. They don't look like McFarlane. They look like they're from the animated universe, which I think is really cool.
I like that, especially in the Skybound article, we actually get accessories as well as face swaps. Mm-hmm. So it's cool seeing that they've got the gloves, Nolan comes with a block of concrete. I want to see what the Flaxen arm looks like. So we haven't seen that yet, but we've got a Reaniman head. And, well, let me just read it. These figures stand at 7 inches and each come with a second angry head, multiple interchangeable hands, and baseball gloves. Invincible will come with a baseball and a Reaniman head, while Omni-Man comes with a chunk of concrete and a Flaxon arm. Each figure will feature approximately 18 points of articulation. So 7 inches versus the 5-inch ones.
Random thing that you can put in like as an accessory.
A chunk comes with actual chunks of concrete. It's just, yeah, it's a little random. I think they look great though. I'm excited for them.
I'm excited that they called this the first wave.
Yes.
So there's going to be more. It's going to not just Invincible and Omni-Man. There's going to be more. Which we know, but it's exciting to.
So we're dabbling in our main topic here, so we don't have to go too far. But predictions on the second wave?
Eve
and a villain.
Yes, I agree. We need Eve and a villain.
Would it only be 2 though? Because it would.
No, it could be like 4.
I could see Alan. Like,
oh my god, an Alan figure. That's someone we haven't seen an actual design for. I really want to see what Alan looks like in the show.
Yeah. One thing that I feel like this is leading to too, like we literally just talked about how, and it's still weird to me, how I was walking through a Target and I just saw like a Walking Dead Nerf gun sitting there, had no idea that it existed. There's nothing out there right now that hasn't been announced or that has been announced that we're not aware of regarding Invincible.
Yeah.
It's weird. I never thought that I'd get to the day where like there's tons of Walking Dead stuff out there. I don't know what it is. Eventually, it's going to get like that with Invincible. Hopefully, that's
maybe.
the dream.
Hopefully,
let me say this: the action figures that we already have with Eve and Invincible, I never expected them to like be in Target or anything.
No,
these ones I kind of do.
So can I read the last paragraph here? Available for pre-order through comic shops and specialty stores on December 23rd. The accessory packed figures will arrive in the summer of 2021 with streamlined versions coming to Walgreens.
Mm-hmm. So if
Walgreens.
If it's a fucking Walgreens.
So there are going to be Invincible action figures that don't have the alternate heads and the chunks of concrete in Walgreens.
That's like saying Invincible merchandise coming to a Rite Aid near you. Walgreens?
It is a little random. I'm sure it's something through whatchamacallit, Diamond Select Toys. I'm sure they've got some kind of partnership with them or something like that.
Yeah.
But hey, it's happening.
There is going to be TJ and Ryan in like 4 years' time. Hopefully, there will be Invincible merchandise that you don't even know exists. Or you won't own.
That's weird because thanks to Gerd, a listener over in Germany, I've got the Invincible watch finally, which completes pretty much my collection of anything Invincible related merch to ever exist. So, I mean, it's weird to think that there will be a day when there's that much.
Enjoy it while it lasts, Ryan.
I know, right?
Because it's going to become overwhelming, I'm sure.
All right, our final piece, and it's a little crazy to think that this is just the third piece of news on a list here.
This is the most exciting. Strap in. Because we got an hour to talk about it.
So over on Instagram, Mr. Cory Walker put up a little picture, and I'm pulling it up here so I can read it word for word. And it's an image of King Immortal, a drawing of King Immortal. Cory Walker says, "Just finished drawing my first comic page in almost 3 years. So to celebrate, I am posting this completely unrelated drawing that has absolutely nothing to do with the page I just drew. Nothing at all."
So King Immortal's head. You and I already kind of talked about this at great length.
You guys talked about this already?
We did.
A little bit.
We couldn't help
it.
Dude, I talked to you for a second about it too, Bill. You called me and you're like, what is happening? What is this?
So what I said to Ryan is...
Oh, yeah.
I said, so as a podcast, we're back in business, right? Like we're back.
I was like, we're back. So holy shit, guys. Like, I mean, of course, we can take him literally and that he's just trolling. He's just fucking with us. That it doesn't actually have anything to do with it.
How many people in the world would be as excited to see a fucking drawing of King Immortal's head, though?
God.
Like, honestly. Like, you could look at that and be a fan of Cory Walker and be like, I don't know what that is. Like, but come on.
Dude.
Come on.
Oh, it's definitely something. No, it wasn't just a drawing of King Immortal. It was a full page. He just showed us he said, I just got done finishing a whole page.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
what I'm saying is that this drawing, quote unquote, could have no relevance, quote unquote, to what he just did.
Oh yeah,
But,
that's what I'm saying. We can't assume that.
Right.
And that's what he's saying, but read between the lines, and I mean, it's fun to assume. So if
this little bit of news here is as exciting to me as the fucking show getting announced.
Oh my God.
This even if it's a one-shot comic or like a 3-part series, it's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be a one shot. It's not going to be anything like continuous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's going to continue King Immortal's story in the future, because last we saw him, he was depressed. He wanted to die, and we never really saw anything else about that. And I think
Well, because
we're gonna
Mark killed
get
him
that.
and told him to separate his head.
If you're thinking about it in a linear fashion, because I mean it's all about time travel here. The last time we saw him was Mark leaving young in parentheses King Immortal to rule the earth pretty much.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be a one shot. I think it's going to be a mini series. I think it's going to be like a 3 to 6 part mini series, something along those lines that'll show his rise and fall when Mark comes.
Oh my gosh!
gotta be.
Imagine if it ended with Mark showing up,
Oh yeah,
like Mark walking in the door. And then,
I think
and that we have a different appreciation, or reading that King Immortal a little bit differently this time because of what we know now.
I think you're right, Bill, but I don't think it's going to be a whole miniseries. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right. I just don't think it's going to be that.
No, I
think
agree.
I
I think it's one issue.
Oh,
Do you think it's one issue?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I want it to be way more. Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm expecting one issue though. You know.
You don't think it's going to be a 3-part miniseries? There's so much story that they could tell, though.
Look at how much he told in the final issue of Invincible. I think we're going to get one of those things. So, say for example, it's going to be a story of Marky dealing with something during King Immortal's reign. And,
oh my God, we're going to see Marky. Holy shit!
That's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, and it's going to be
throw up.
maybe it's Marky leaving Earth. You know what I mean? Like it's in the future, shit's gone bad. He's pissed off at his father Mark for leaving him, and all that, and we get a peek at what's going on with Immortal. And
so, are you thinking
maybe that little piece, maybe we'll get to see Marky, because we have it in our heads that this is about King Immortal. Maybe King Immortal was that little piece.
Oh no,
Maybe,
I absolutely think that this is.
Mouth.
Yeah, this is not. I don't think this is about King Immortal. I think King Immortal's in it. King Immortal is going to be the thing that puts this in a timeline. Like, we're going to see, oh, okay, this is where we're at, because we know from this point to this point where that timeline lies.
I don't know why my stupid ignorant brain didn't even think about that.
This could be
Immortal story.
This could be young Angstrom Levy. And
Levy.
Marky.
It's pronounced Levy. It's pronounced Levy.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I love Marky, and I want what you said, Ryan. I want that. But I don't know if we need that. And I can understand a mini series or a one shot of King Immortal. I can understand that. But I don't know if we necessarily need it with Invincible, because we already got it in the final issue.
As exciting as this is, TJ, I 100% agree. It's like The Last of Us Part 1. It ends, and I'm like, I don't need more. I don't need more. Issue 144 was perfect. It's perfect. It doesn't need. I like the.
I completely disagree with you, both of you, because The Last of Us is something that ended. There was nothing that was there. But Invincible, I mean, there are so many things that you can go back and make an entire fucking comic book out of.
Yes,
the new characters that were introduced in 144,
we agree on that. What me and Ryan were talking about was specifically Marky. I don't know if I need one for Marky, unless it's like a mini, like a one-shot comic to show one side adventure with a beginning story and with one single story about how he fought Angstrom Levy's son.
I think that's the meanest thing.
I don't think it's going to be that, though.
I think that is the meanest thing you could ever say. That's like saying that the struggles that he went through, being born of hate, and assuming that character doesn't have any interesting stories of growth to tell, other than fighting Angstrom Levy's son or whoever that is.
What you just said.
Rude. That's super mean.
What you just said, Bill. What you just said is the reason why we don't need it. You said to see a guy who was born of hate. Where'd you get that from? You got it from the end of issue 144, where he laid all that out. We already got that emotion. We already got that story from him.
Yeah, but we didn't see.
Him.
I mean,
we don't need to see it.
The outcome of that, all that we saw was that he fought Mark, and it's because he got out of control. But you don't want to see him like start to lose control. You don't want to see the journey. You can tell me the end of a movie, but that's not going to make me want to not see the movie.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Sure.
I think
anything that Kirkman does, I'm going to want to read it. I'm going to want to see it. Sure, he's going to make it great. However, I don't think we need it. We don't need it.
This is the thing. I think in any other story, in any other product or whatever you'd call it, I'd be concerned. I'd be just as scared to be like, what if it doesn't hold up to it? What if it's not as good? Then we have this thing where it ended so well, and now this is the actual ending. I mean, we're getting something else. We didn't really need that. But it's Robert Kirkman. He loves Invincible more than us. Cory Walker loves Invincible more than us. Like, they're going to take care of this. They wouldn't do it if it wasn't worth doing.
Right.
That's it.
Whatever. Even if it is marky, me saying that I don't need it doesn't mean that if that is the case, which I don't think it is. If it is the case, it's still going to be fucking amazing. It's Kirkman, and it's Kirkman writing Invincible. Like, it's well, potentially.
I mean, we don't know that.
True.
Honestly, it could be Cory Walker.
You think he's going to let somebody else write that?
The reason why he ended the comic was because he didn't want to see it in the hands of somebody else.
One of the reasons, yeah. We're going to talk more about that. I foresee in our predictions segment coming up. But right now we're going to move out of our Invincible News segment and move into our main topic here, which is going to be us doing this thing that we do. Now,
Happy New Year!
Last year, on January 1st, we recorded and listened to us and the predictions that we had made on January 1st of 2018 into 2019. And then we had set predictions for 2020. So we are going to take a minute here and listen to what we said a year ago in predictions for 2020. So, Bill, if you get your headphones set, so hopefully,
I'm going to mute my line so I can get my headphones on without causing too much background noise. Go ahead.
Hopefully, in the next year, we won't have to do this virtual recording with each other so often because it's a hassle, and we run into complications with audio and the difficulty of doing things like this where we have to get each of us set up separately to play the audio at the same time. So we're going to listen along to our predictions that we gave on January 1st of 2020 before we knew what this year would bring. So, Bill, if you want to comment, go ahead and unmute yourself as we listen along. We'll try to keep the comments to a minimum because I know it can get a little confusing hearing three of the same people talk over themselves. All right, here we go. We're going to start in 3, 2...
Wait.
Yes?
Wait. Are we going to hit play on one? Like
I'll say
3,
go.
2,
I'll say
1?
go.
Okay.
So
we're going to hit play on go.
On go. Ready? 3,
okay.
2, 1, go.
And then, was there anything else other than the thing, TJ? Because I only got one more thing. Do you know about this, Bill?
No. Yes, he does.
Okay.
Do I?
There is a new issue of Invincible coming out in 2020.
I don't know about this.
It's a reprint of the first issue for Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that, but I thought we talked about it.
No? So the first issue of Invincible has never been released as a Free Comic Book Day thing. So in April, is it, TJ? I believe it's April.
Something like that. Because I thought it was weird. It's before San Diego Comic-Con. I thought it was weird that they were releasing it. Why not just wait for the animated series to come out and get people?
Well, because Free Comic Book Day is at a set day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably because they're going to
But they
have
done
some sort of announcement.
Do you think they're going to use it as marketing?
Probably. Could you imagine in the back of it?
Yeah, I can. That's exactly what I expect. Or we also don't know what the cover is. I'm assuming it's going to be the original cover, like just with Free Comic Book
What
Day
if
on the
it's
top.
not?
But what if it's
What if it's
the
redesigned,
cover in the
animated?
animated
Oh my
style?
Here we go.
God.
That would be cool.
Here we go.
How cool would that be?
I
This
highly
is just,
doubt
this
that's
is
the
just
case.
us dreaming. This
I
is
know,
pipe
this is what
dreaming.
we do.
I doubt that's the case.
This is what we do. It's probably just gonna be the original.
We get
cover.
everyone really excited for this fucking alternate reality.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I agree that the reason why they're doing it is because there's things coming up for
Yeah.
Invincible, but I don't agree that there's going to be like a preview or you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
it's possible, but I don't.
My expectation, like obviously, I dream big, but my legit, honest expectation is in the back, just a blue page, the Invincible logo, and underneath that, animated series coming soon to
yeah.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no new graphics, no new anything, just a blank thing. And I think that's
kinda what I want.
I think that's the bare minimum that we'll get.
I think that
That's all I want. Just the
that they would.
logo. Just give me the
No,
logo.
I mean this logo, not even a new logo. I can see them just doing the bare minimum.
I think they would be the new logo. If they're going to put the logo in there, it's going to be the logo.
I hope, but I'm setting my expectations, dude.
I think that they would. It's not crazy, and I think that they probably will. If they're going to do that, I think that they would just put that on the cover.
God.
I think that would just soon to be
Just to
Amazon
kinda
animated
keep-
show
just to-
coming this.
just to
you know
kind of
what I mean?
start showing people,
Yeah.
like,
I wouldn't doubt that that's a possibility.
Right? Like
Just
bottom
saying,
corner,
like in,
upper
bottom
right,
corner,
somewhere.
real small.
oh, you mean
Yeah.
not
soon to
the,
be an animated series on
not
Prime.
in the art style.
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
just like a
Yeah.
message.
No.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Or like a splash. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like a starburst, like
Yeah,
down
yeah.
at the bottom corner, like.
It's kind of cool though to think that we can go to a comic shop in April to get an issue of Invincible, which might have something new in it. It's been a while.
It would have to. Why would they do it? Invincible is so not relevant now. Like,
I know.
why?
And
Why?
if they're thinking that it's not going to be until next year, then they would just
They
wait-
wouldn't
they would
fucking do it.
They wouldn't
Yeah,
do it this
they
year.
wouldn't fucking do it.
I was so
Dude,
wrong.
100% I'm with you. 100,000%. There's going to be something on the cover or something on the inside, and I wouldn't doubt that there's like some sort of sneak
You're
peek,
right about
like,
all
currently
that.
talking about
I mean, right now on Skybound they have just like the cast listing. So even if it's just the cast listing,
That's what I was thinking
you
too.
know what
It
I
would
mean?
just be that and
Something.
then the cast list.
something.
Yeah, almost like a poster with the cast listed underneath.
It would be a cool thing to have, for
Yeah.
sure, if it has anything like that in it.
Yeah, that would be neat,
And it's free.
and it's free.
So do you think Free Comic Book Day is more of a push for the animated show and it could be nothing for the movie, or do you think that it's actually
I
something
think it's
for the movie
100% nothing for the movie.
and all
All
animated?
animated series. I think they're putting all their
Agreed.
eggs in that basket and leaving the movie to Hollywood, Universal, and Seth Rogen. If they want to get off, if they want to move forward with it, they can. But
They
Skybound
need
is not.
more.
I think Skybound's just waiting on them.
Yeah.
All right, let's start the segment. So it'll be easy for me to clip out for January 1st next year. We're starting our segment now. Where we're time traveling.
Should we clap?
One year from now, I'm gonna say that 2019, this past year, will be known as the lull, the calm before the storm. I really think 2020 will have good things. I think that things will happen in 2020.
2020 will absolutely, this year,
Oh no.
we will absolutely see the show.
Shut up, Bill.
We will have movie casting news.
Oh no.
I'm just being.
Wow, movie cast. Are you
I'm,
just
I-
saying
I'm
the
being,
same things?
yeah, I'm being, yeah.
I
The,
think
the show, how can we not? Like, I mean,
my expectations are for late 2020 at this point, because if it's gonna be if the Free Comic Book Day thing is a marketing thing, that's not till April. They're gonna
May,
release
June.
or they're gonna
when is
announce
San Diego?
it. That's like
July.
July.
I'm saying that the show is going to be
Maybe shortly after.
mid-October to mid-November. It's going to be October, November-ish. We'll see the show in 2020.
I
think.
would have been right if
earlier
it wasn't
than
for
that.
COVID.
You think shortly after?
I
Like,
really
you think,
do.
Like,
because
how early? What do
you
you
said
think
the
early?
same
Like-
about 2019 when regards to like Castlevania. You like to think that like they release it and then they reveal it and then they release it.
Give me a month.
September.
So you're saying
1 month.
September, and I'm saying October and November.
Well, I think November is a big difference between September.
He's leaning more towards the first. Yeah.
That's like prime
saying-
time TV. That's like, you know what I mean? Like when all the big things start
You're saying
back
like
up again.
you're saying like late summer. TJ's saying like mid fall.
I would say late summer, 100%. You're saying like early winter.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm thinking, again, mid-October to
I'm
mid-November.
preparing to be closer to TJ, but I want it to be what Bill's saying.
Yeah,
Of course,
I
I
just
I know I want, but
I can't be a realist in these
I know.
things. Like I just want
I know.
my things to be
I know.
right.
So I think all three of us agree we'll see it in 2020.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk to ourselves after we have seen it. The next time we do this, we will have already seen it. We all
That's
agree.
not fair.
Do you think it's coming out weekly or all at once?
Weekly.
You think they're gonna do the weekly
Yes,
thing?
I do.
God,
I don't.
I hope so.
I don't. I don't think that. Why would they start that?
That's the way
now? 'Cause
everything is going.
Where Amazon released The Boys and it was all at once, and that was the newest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I want to rewatch episode 1 like 3-4 times before we get to episode 2. Because if we get them, all at once, you think I'm gonna rewatch episode 2 before watching episode 3? No. Like I want to digest, because we're just gonna be too excited to fully digest. Anything from the movie? My expectations are at no.
It's
TJ?
weird how all of our opinions change over here.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Nothing.
No.
Merch. We gonna start seeing merch again? You think that was kind of put on hold till they're gonna
The show
do
until the animated show.
Yeah.
I think if we all agree that the animated show is coming out this year, then I 100% think that there's going to be
by San Diego there'll be.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe there won't be new merch, but I think merchandise will be more accessible.
Yeah.
There will be
I mean? like the Skybound hoodie that they made, the one that TJ has like the knockoff version of. They made an official Skybound one, but only gave it to employees and Ryan Ottley.
I think everything that we've seen so far, like that's Invincible merch, will be readily available and won't be so difficult to get.
There's going to be new merch, but it's going to be apparel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV show branded. You know what I mean? Like how we talked about like the action figures. Are they going to look like that, or are they going to look like the animated series, whatever that looks like?
I think it's going to be the same.
I'm not confident that we're going to get action figures or.
Really?
I think it's going to be apparel. I think it's going to be clothing,
T-shirts, sweaters,
and I think it's going to
hats.
be just normal Invincible. I don't think it's going to be.
I think
animated series.
I think we'll probably get just animated show toys.
Do you guys think that before, like, are we thinking that the next thing is going to be San Diego? I think we're kind of hoping that because we're trying to go. But do we think that they're going to do, like, TJ, I cut out a section where you talked about how it's always a random Tuesday. That's always, and we always talk about that. Do you think we're going to get another, like, small thing regarding the animated series?
Regarding animated?
Yeah. Like,
what do you
more, like, casting or explaining who everybody is?
Oh, yeah. We'd have to. We would have to.
Before San Diego, what I'm saying.
Oh,
Especially if the thing.
Yes.
If the
I'm gonna actually gonna go out on a limb and be really specific.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's hear it.
So there's San Diego Comic-Con in July.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna release something.
Well, we got April with the Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah. They're gonna release something in June about the animated series. Something that gets us excited. Not anything specific. I'm not gonna say what it is. I feel like they do that because like the announcement with again, like it was kind of leaked, so they had to release it. But that announcement of the casting was released like a month before San Diego. I feel like they don't really abide by. We're gonna wait for Con. We're gonna wait for San Diego Comic-Con. We're gonna wait for New York Comic-Con.
I think
that when things are ready to be released, they just fucking release it.
I think that's a really smart prediction, just because to get people excited for Comic-Con, they make an announcement so that you know that something's coming at the con.
Mm-hmm.
I think that does it then. I mean, any other things you want to say to Bill of 2021 or TJ of 2021? Any other predictions?
Who have I become? Who am I talking to right now? Who's listening?
Yeah. We still doing this?
Listening back to that, I wonder why people even listen to us at all.
Why? That's gold.
So there you have it.
Regarding the whole June thing, like,
were you? I was going to say, were you right?
Obviously, like, all of our predictions, in one way or another, was probably affected by the pandemic. Right?
100%. I think that we actually did very good. I think we did very good.
But I want to say about my June prediction. One thing about June. They announced Skybound Expo, which was their first ever.
That's
and that
true.
got us excited about the Invincible trailer potentially coming out. But then that got pushed again, and it's like, yeah. So I think we did good.
I would like to ask Robert Kirkman the next time we have him on the show, which I think that we will, either when the show comes out or something like that. Wishful thinking. How accurate we were with these predictions, because I really fucking think that we were pretty spot on. When do we ever agree?
I don't think that it would be uncommon knowledge or whatever. What I'm saying is, I'm sure anyone at Skybound would say, yeah, obviously plans were shifted. I mean, I think they've all but already said that. Like, they were going to have a blowout for Invincible over the summer, and I mean, obviously the show was supposed to come out in 2020. That was announced. It is no longer coming out in 2020. You know what I mean? So there was going to be everything that's happened this year up to today, including the announcements at that Amazon panel and everything like that, I think would have happened between the months of like April and August of 2020. How crazy would that have been? And
So
instead
what
we
you're
got it
saying-
spread out over a whole year.
What you're saying is what we just listened to, Ryan, is completely irrelevant because of COVID.
Yes.
Except for your movie casting.
Yeah, I even said though, I'm just
yeah.
throwing things at the wall, seeing if
Yeah,
it sticks.
when I asked, we said that no, there would be nothing regarding the movie, and there wasn't. So
There were some things in there here and there that we were just blatantly wrong about.
yeah, you said that
of us.
we wouldn't get any action figures, which we still haven't, but we
I'll-
kind of did.
Not in 2020.
They've been revealed.
Not in
2020.
2020. We didn't get it. But I will say that one thing that I was legit wrong about was I said that it was a possibility, but I didn't think that we were going to get any animated first looks or anything in the new comic book day issue, which we did.
Oh yeah, exactly, and that was great. Good on you, Bill, and myself. We were talking about how cool it would be, and I think I said it. If not, you did, Bill. How cool it would be if the cover was in the original or in the animated style. That was cool. That was a great call.
Yeah, we both kind of predicted that it was gonna be different. It was gonna be redesigned
and used as
in
promotion
some way.
for the
Yeah.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which again, that would have been out in April. Like all of 2019 or all of 2020 would have been a big lead up. So here now, before we get into our predictions for 2021, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we actually got for Invincible in 2020. So first off, COVID delayed just about everything, and in some cases canceled everything. So the Free Comic Book Day issue was delayed, and all the cons were either delayed, canceled, or put digitally. Skybound Expo happened, as well as them doing their Comics Vault Live, in which they were, sold CGC copies of Invincible. We got all the cast listing announcements across various panels from Skybound Expo. Announcements through Skybound Expo, New York Comic Con, and then the CCXP. The Free Comic Book Day cover was revealed, and it ended up being what we thought, which was the animated style. There was an issue of Science Dog on the back of Oblivion Song 25. The Free Comic Book Day issue was released. We got all those images in the back, which was our first look at the style of the animated series, including different character models and a write-up about them and everything. We got the trailer at New York Comic Con, as well as the announcement that Michael Dorn was going to be playing Battle Beast. The trailer obviously being the biggest thing probably in the entire year to happen. There's the small little reference in the crossover comic. Local Comic Shop Day foil issue came out. There was that CCXP panel for Amazon Prime where all the cast was, or several of the cast members were on it. Then we got that in Bill's opinion, the biggest news of 2020, which was that Cory Walker image of King Immortal. And then again, the action figures were revealed to be coming out, which, by the way, we didn't talk about it when we talked about the action figures. They're coming out in the summer. So, and before, again, we're going to get into our predictions here, but first I want to mention, here's some things that the podcast did. So what we did in 2020, as well as keeping up with, obviously, our Oblivion Song podcast episodes. We had 3 guests on the Invincible podcast: Pete and Bessie from Comics Pals, James Kelly, and Kyle Higgins. We did an episode all about the other appearances by Invincible across all the other kind of random comic books that he's made appearances in. We did another round of Super Fight. We did a listener feedback, as well as a What If episode. We did an episode entirely dedicated to Firepower, Volume 1. We talked or listened back to our very first test episode number 0, that we recorded before starting the podcast. We got first looks at both the animated art style and the trailer. We finished our reread that took 25 months. We released a video of us playing an Invincible Guess Who game, and we passed 1,000 followers over on Twitter. So that's what we did in 2020 as the Invincible podcast.
One thing that's the most surprising to me about literally all that you've said, we only did one super fight in 2020? We got to change that.
Yeah. It's hard to do digitally. So that's the other thing that we did is virtually. We haven't recorded in person very much this year. We've probably only done, there's been 12 episodes. We've probably only done 3-4 of them in person, maybe. Yeah. So that's made things difficult. I have a really cool idea that we're all really excited to do as far as a video, another game that we want to play, and it's going to be really fun, but COVID, man. So hopefully we'll 2021, So speaking of 2021, here we go. We are going to time travel. This is the segment I'm going to clip out and play on January 1st of 2021. Or I'm sorry, of 2022.
January of 2022.
Yes, where we get to listen to what we're saying right now as far as predictions. We just got done listening to our previous predictions. So let's see. I'm going to kick it off. Do you guys think we will see the animated series in 2021?
Yes, one of my earliest, when we talked about it, I think that it's going to be a Q1 release. So it's going to be no later than the end of March. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all agreed on that originally when we first talked about it last month. I still agree on that, but the action figure news coming out in the summer makes me a little nervous.
Yes, I'm gonna go on the record and say my date has changed a little bit too. Of course, I would like it to be Q1, but honestly, man, what if they just said, you know what? Let's just bump everything a year. What if they still want to do the San Diego push? They still want to do all the hype and everything like that, and just it comes out in the summer or it comes out in the fall, and here we are waiting another year.
I feel like if you put that out in the universe, it's going to happen. That's why I'm always the optimistic person here. Yeah. No, Ryan.
Okay.
You are wrong.
All right.
It's going to be Q1 release.
All right.
You think it's going to be the fall?
No, Q1. Oh, you mean Ryan?
No, Ryan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because part of me is like, okay, it's either happening early 2021 or they're saying we're going to straight up and copy the 2020 schedule and just erase that 0 and put a 1 and it's going to match it exactly. Because for whatever reason, they had decided, okay, we like the fall for this kind of show. It matches what Amazon wants to do for their schedule of content and blah, 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 that kind of, business lingo. They might just be like, yeah, we're going to do the same thing. We'll just push it a year. And that scares me.
I definitely think that that's a possibility. One thing that is weird is the fact that the action figures are coming out from that article. It says in June. But and I know that they don't time things around cons, but San Diego Comic-Con is literally 1 month later. So why not hold off a little bit longer and then build up more press for it?
Well, because they'll be available to buy at San Diego. And
could be.
And there's still not fully finished images of the figures. I think they're still in development. So
I'm hoping that San Diego Comic-Con next year this year in 2021 will be them talking about what's coming up in season 2 of Invincible animated series.
That would be so early on, though.
No, not showing it.
No, I know, but even talking about it, it's still early.
The action figures are coming out in June, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I'm gonna make the prediction that it's not gonna be past July that the animated series premieres.
Okay. All right. What were you saying, Bill?
Does the action figure release have to coincide with the show release?
Because, not at all.
Yeah,
No.
1 second, Kobe's jumping off the couch. I think that it would make sense if it were a Q1 release, end of Q1, so let's say March, right? January, February, March. And then, summer, that's 3 months later, 2 months later, to reignite the interest in the show. And
right.
then I think TJ, you said that I don't think it's out of the question for them to have something already in the works for season 2. I really don't.
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely they do. let's do this, because I feel like we're all over the place, because who the fuck knows at this point?
I know.
Let's all say a specific date.
Just for
Whoever's
fun?
Closest. Yeah, whoever's closest. Bill, you want to go first?
Nope, this isn't Price is Right rules. It's just whoever is closest, one side or the other.
Yep. Miss. How can we? I don't know what date falls on what day though. That's not fair.
I'm looking.
Like what?
I mean,
are
March.
you looking?
I'm just
March
looking.
20th falls on March 20th. Oh, you mean like you think it's gonna like be a Friday or something, like specific
Yeah.
day?
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
Friday. And I'm going to go out there on a limb because I don't want it to be, but I'm going to say September 10th.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna say.
Somebody be earlier because somebody has
I'm
to
just
beat
gonna
me.
say. I'm just gonna say March 26th. I'll be the earliest one. I'll be the
Okay.
last Friday.
Yeah.
In Q1.
So I think, Bill, you and I are doing the bookends. So TJ, all you got to do is be somewhere in the summer and
in the middle, and you win, bro.
Literally, when I said that, I was probably gonna go March-ish, but like going through the calendar and just like looking at it and seeing it in front of me, June 4th.
Oof.
June 4th.
We are at like 3 points. I like this. All right, let's see who gets closest. Do you guys think that it will be? And I asked you this last year, and you guys actually talked about it for a long time. I had to cut it up. Do you guys think it'll be weekly? Because Bill, you said nothing's weekly anymore. The Boys isn't weekly,
Yeah.
and then The Boys came out to weekly in 2020.
So, I think it'll probably be weekly. I don't think that it'll be all. I think it'll do like maybe a 2-episode season premiere, as The Boys did, and as really everything does on HBO, on HBO Max. It does it now. So I would say it'll be weekly minus the first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. I'm more confident now than I was last year that it'll be weekly, but I still wouldn't really put money on it. I think it could still go either way. You, TJ?
I'm sticking with the prediction I made back in September. It's going to be the first 3 episodes and then weekly.
Okay. What do you guys think will be the reception? How well do you think the show will do / be enjoyed, like both by us and the general public?
This is
I'll
going
go
to be
first.
okay,
TJ.
This
Okay.
is going to be tough to measure. You can
I know,
go first, Bill.
I know, but I
I'm
think
just saying,
I
a
think
year from
listening
now, this is
back
gonna be
we'll
tough to
know.
measure.
Yeah.
I think that with what becomes popular nowadays, with the amount of people that are in and they have nothing better to do than watch these really ambiguous things that come out, like Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I never in a million years would have thought that I'd watch a show like that, and I am, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think that it's going to be huge. I think that it's going to be what there's not a commercially like digestible adult cartoon right now. Like there's like Castlevania out there, you know what I mean, like really kind of, you know, niche things that only people that like anime or that like video games would like. But I think superhero, rated R, gory, this is going to be the Deadpool fan base. I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be really fucking big. I think people are going to be talking about it a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to make a statement and say that I am 100% right about this. Okay.
Oh my god, I hate your
Future-
you know why you're
future
right?
us?
Because
Future
you're
us?
pessimistic all the time, TJ, and you put a lot of fucking negative karma out there, and I hate it. Don't
This is
say
what-
it, TJ.
This is what I'm going to say. The show comes out, obviously 2021.
I hate you, TJ.
Everybody that's within the Invincible family, like everybody that listens to our podcast, like the whole Skybound team, like anybody that's ever read the comic, within the known Invincible universe, like Invincible fandom, we all love it. It's amazing. It is perfect. Anybody that watches the show falls in love with the show. They love it. It's amazing. It's perfect. However, 1 year from right now, as we're listening to this listening to me speak right now, there are still occasions where we're telling people about the show, saying, have you heard of Invincible? It's on Amazon Prime. Watch this. Like, get to know this. It's not a household name like Walking Dead was at the jump. That's my prediction.
The Walking Dead.
I'm
The Walking Dead isn't a household name now. I can go up.
It is 100% a household name.
Yeah, I know.
It
I know.
was
Sorry,
right
Bill.
at the start.
He knows he's wrong.
No,
I'm
it was
gonna.
not from the start. You're
Yes,
crazy,
it was
dude.
from the start.
It was
broke
huge.
records.
It was huge from
It
the
broke
start.
records.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a good point because this was on a network that no one fucking watched, a genre that nobody cared about,
Yep.
and it was a fucking hit. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is during a time where people have nothing better to do than watch content on easily accessible things,
So-
and this is going to be it.
I'm going to go a little in between you guys and say, Bill,
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
what I like.
there you go. I think it's going to be. You brought up Queen's Gambit. I don't think it'll be a phenomenon such as that was. I think it'll be similar to the reception that The Boys got, but a little less. It'll be like The Boys meets Castlevania, where it does very well enough to keep going. It has its fan base, but it's a little bit wider received, such as The Boys, But I don't think it's going to be.
I disagree with you, Ryan. I think it will be bigger than The Boys because
Wow.
people know that The Boys exist now, and they like
Looking
that
for that.
rated R.
Yeah,
like,
thank God
comic
for The
book,
Boys then, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not only did it
maybe.
build a or really put that genre on between that and Deadpool, of course, but really opened that up to Amazon Prime. Like, hey, Amazon Prime has this kind of content. You like this kind of content? Check this out.
The only thing that's going to hold it back is that it's animated.
And that's why I think it's
and
not.
I think it's just going to take enough people talking about it to make every other person watch a little bit of it, and then it's going to blow up. As soon as everyone just catches a glimpse of it, it's going to fucking blow up. It'll be bigger than The Boys. I promise you.
Wow. Okay.
I think
all right.
eventually it will, but it won't be first season.
I think absolutely within the first season. The Boys was The Boys within the first season because it was The Boys. This is going to be bigger than that.
All right. Moving on. Anything merch related? We know that the figures are coming up. We gave a little bit of a prediction earlier on in this episode where we thought that we might see wave 2 of the figures. Anything else?
I think that we're going to get an open world role playing video game, like in the sense of Skyrim. I don't think we're going to get. I don't think.
How did we not even get apparel in 2020?
Because of
I
COVID.
thought that was a sure fucking.
Well,
thing.
also you said that being 2019 TJ, who had just seen Skybound do a big push on apparel, which they haven't really this year. So,
But I'm still in the same mindset. Like, if we don't get, yes, we're going to get apparel. The show is coming out. If action figures are coming out, apparel is going to come out. But it's still surprising to me that like even Skybound outside of the show didn't have anything. But I don't know. And I also feel like right now the Skybound store is really like pushing things out of their store. They're sold out of like everything.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a whole big wave that comes in
of new stuff.
merchandise. Yep.
Agreed. All
I
right.
just want apparel.
All right.
Give me something to wear. Give me a nice fucking hoodie.
Here we go. We're talking to ourselves in 2021. Did we see anything or hear anything regarding the movie?
If we do, it will be some nonchalant statement about how it is indefinitely on hold.
Interesting.
I think this is absolutely dependent on when the show comes out. If we were going by my prediction, which I have to because I said by March, I think if the show comes out that soon, then I'm obligated to say that we will absolutely have relevant movie news by the end of the year.
I think in your prediction realm, Bill,
scenario,
in your scenario, with it coming out early and it being this smash success, I think that they would be like, okay, let's fast track the movie. This is a big property. Let's work on this. Mm-hmm. I think in my scenario, it's going to be, maybe we should kick the tires on this thing and start maybe doing it. And I agree with TJ. We're like, we might hear a passing thing about how, we're still working on that, and that's it.
So,
I've been hurt, guys. I've been hurt.
It's because you asked to be hurt. You're like, I'm gonna guess that Invincible's gonna die and everything sucks.
No, I'm saying like I was the exact opposite for how long. I think we all were regarding the movie. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get casting news in a year. Like on the announcement episode that we did, like
we were so naive. We were so naive.
Like
That's what it is.
And literally, we've talked about it for so long and made so many constant predictions that keep getting pushed back and later and later. I feel like it's just not gonna happen. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm just saying it's not going to happen any fucking time soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of, guys, this March is our 5-year anniversary.
What better time than the show to come out
in March?
And, so I have something else that like with the whole movie thing, I don't think that a studio is going to put that much time and effort into a new IP during COVID. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like in 2021.
You're right.
But if the movie industry is anything, if it's following the trend of 2020, which it has to, because these are very big projects that over the course of a long amount of time, I don't think that they're really going to fast track anything.
Especially things that are that expensive and that high budget. Like,
right. And like I said, a new IP, no one knows what it is unless the show does really well. That being said, do you guys think that it could be something that goes directly to streaming?
I think that they would say directly to streaming, that's the animated series. What can we do that the animated series already isn't providing?
Right, and would just lose money anyways.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
and not be done to the standards that it deserves.
So now
I think by the time the movie does come out and it's a thing, I mean, COVID is going to be a distant memory, and I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I think eventually I do think movie theaters are going to reopen. I really do.
Oh, man.
I know a lot of people don't, but
out of every Invincible related thing we just talked about, TJ, I hope that's not the thing that makes us cringe when we listen back a year from now.
What, that movie theaters open?
Yeah, I really hope they do. I really hope everything's going to be okay.
Listen, like, okay, and I know we're getting into non-Invincible related things, and we'll come back to that. But I mean, the vaccine is coming out, and as I say that, a year from now, I can be like, "Oh, the vaccine was fucking trash." You know what I mean? We don't know. But there, as we're sitting right now, we can see some positivity.
I know. I agree, man.
So a year from now, I'm hoping that things go back to normal. However, I will say that when it comes to the movie, what the fuck was a point I was gonna make? I don't even.
Bill was talking about streaming. Okay,
Did we lose audio again, Ryan?
Yeah, so my internet does this thing where it drops out like every half hour. So TJ, just in case it didn't record, which it probably didn't, the last thing you said was that we were talking about how theaters should come back and everything like that, and then you were talking about Invincible and how you couldn't remember what you were going to say. But you originally started to talk because Bill was talking about how it could come to streaming and everything like that.
Yeah, I just don't think that it would. I think that when the movie is a movie and is made, COVID will be a distant memory and it will come back to theaters. It will be in theaters.
Yeah. Okay.
It won't be streaming.
Yeah, I agree. But as for 2021, I think the most amount of like news or movie stuff we'll get is, I don't know, like it's in pre-production or it's in production. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like, we won't see it until like 2024 probably.
Yeah. Okay. Will we get a new Invincible comic book in 2021?
Yes, we will. I don't know when new comic books come out, but based on Cory Walker's his Instagram, 1,000%. It'll be probably later in the year, though, I'd say.
My prediction is pretty specific, but I'm going to say that we don't get the comic in 2021. However, the future us that are sitting there, we know when we're going to get it.
Ooh, okay. All right. So it's not out, but it's announced.
Yeah. I think I'm going to laugh at you when we have this, and I'm going to have it up digitally on my phone, quoting specific parts of it. That's my prediction. TJ.
I predict that it will be late summer, early fall, but we will get something, and it'll probably be one issue.
I disagree with you, Ryan. Humbly, of course. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that we'll both be laughing at TJ and his stupid ass prediction.
I think it's a good prediction. It's all right.
I love that you said that, because if I'm right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Any other predictions, comments, notes to the future that you'd like to send from the past to the future?
Is it possible that I could get any more sexy?
I guess we'll find out.
Good one.
Well, we will have our 5-year anniversary as well as episode 100. No, wait. Yes, episode 100. Because this is episode 92 right now. We will have done our 100th episode of the Invincible podcast in 2021. So I guess I will repeat what I said exactly a year ago. I think 2020 was the lull, was the calm before this. I think that 2021 will be a good year for Invincible, and I think that we're going to get some great stuff.
I think that 2020 was kind of a good year. Like, in terms of for a comic book that is not out anymore, we got a trailer, we got a ton of casting news, we got action figures, images, news, like,
we got by. I mean, all things considered.
Yeah. Barely. We're running on fumes.
We're running on fumes, guys. Come on. All right.
The biggest hit for 2020 for me was, San Diego Comic-Con and not being able to go like we originally planned, but
yeah.
There's always, hopefully this year or next year.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I do have one final prediction to throw in here from Cosmo, who wrote to us. And Cosmo said, I've been saying this for a while now, but Invincible should be in Mortal Kombat 11. It would be a great way to get more eyes on the comic for the upcoming animated series, as well as an easy tie-in to the Mortal Kombat universe. Have Mark travel through portals made by Angstrom, and have him arrive in the Mortal Kombat realm and fight his way out. There's a lot of moves in the comic that would make for great fatalities and brutalities. Hell, put Battle Beast in there too. So, have you guys seen that Walking Dead is in Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I don't think that Invincible would be in Mortal Kombat 11. I think that he's right. I think that it could be
it would work so
big
well.
enough to be in a Mortal Kombat game, and I think that it would be like Mortal Kombat 12. Like, what is it, once a year that these games come out? Or
every couple of years, yeah.
Every couple of years?
Bill, I think that if in your scenario, I think that it's a possibility. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's getting that kind of character in there. That's a zeitgeist kind of character. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If not, maybe season 2. Maybe by then it'll be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Because they would have had to have already been working on him.
That's what I mean. I think that it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that it's actually a pretty good chance that it could be in a Mortal Kombat game. I just don't think next year.
I think you'll see him in something like Fortnite first. Something that's a little bit easier to throw him into without having to spend a lot of time and money on a character that hasn't proven to be a hit yet, at least in the public's eye. All right. So that does it for our looking back at 2020.
It was much longer than last year.
It was. But no, it was much longer than you heard. I cut that up. We went on tangents a little bit throughout last year's. So, to wrap up this episode of the Invincible podcast, we normally talk about things that we've been watching, playing, reading, and so on. We just did that last week with the Oblivion Song podcast. And so unless there's something really poignant that you want to bring up, I wanted to stick with this theme of talking about 2020 and ask each of us what our top 3 were. So your top 3 movies, video games, TV shows, and comic books that you read in 2020 or watched or played. It doesn't have to be something that came out in 2020, just something that you enjoyed in 2020. So do you guys want to go around and start with one of the categories and go around the table?
Sure. We'll start with someone different each time.
Okay. All right. Who would like to start with movies?
I guess I'll go with movies. I'll start.
Okay.
With that one.
All right.
I don't think it's necessarily fair because I don't think a whole ton came out. I feel like I saw a bunch of movies. So the ones that stand out to me as being ones that I would like talk about. So you want to do top 3?
Yep. Top 3 movies of 2020.
So I just recently saw Tenet. That hands down is one of the best things that I've seen this year. Let's see. I was also very surprised by a movie called Underwater, which is on HBO Max right now. It has Kristen Stewart in it. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart. That was a really good movie.
I remember hearing good things about that.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch in here. We also watched a movie called Love and Monsters that came out on Amazon. It also was released in theaters. That was really good, but I would have to say Sonic the Hedgehog. So,
dude, yeah.
Sonic, Underwater, and Tenet were standouts for me in 2020. And I'm sure I'm missing some that I've seen because I've seen a lot of stuff, but those three I'd say were like standouts for me.
Okay. Mine will be quick because, again, I didn't actually watch many movies in 2020. But it didn't come out in 2020, I don't think. But I saw Jojo Rabbit in 2020, and that movie was phenomenal. I loved
the shoe scene. Did we talk about it?
Yes, we did. And we said that. We said the shoe scene, and we just did this. I know. I know.
So I just bought an 85-inch 4K TV.
Holy shit!
Like 2 months ago, and Jojo Rabbit was the first 4K
Really?
movie I bought. I had a 4K TV before that, but it was the first new movie I bought.
I'm excited because now I can watch 4K movies with a PS5. I also put Palm Springs on here because I really, really enjoyed that. Did you end up watching that, Bill?
It. Yeah, that movie's awesome.
It was really good.
It was a great play on Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
really
that
fun.
kind of
J.K.
thing.
Simmons is in it.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
And then I put, maybe because I just watched it last night, but I really, really liked Soul. I thought it was very good. So, again, didn't see a ton of movies this year, but I really enjoyed it.
I finished Soul, and then I came over here and booted up my computer to record this episode.
Oh, cool. So
I literally just finished it.
Honorable mentions would go to Sonic the Hedgehog, which was the last movie I ever saw in a movie theater, and hopefully
Me
not
too.
the last movie I ever see in a movie theater.
Yep.
I put Tenet on here because I haven't seen it, but it's my kind of movie, so I'm assuming it's going to be. I'll talk about that in 2021. And then I put on here Hamilton, just because it was great being able to watch that.
Yeah.
So that does it for movies for me. TJ, how about you?
Tenet, yes. Tenet is number one.
Wow.
So there's that. I love the Bad Boys movies. And Bad Boys for Life came out. Bad Boys 3 came out, so Bad Boys for Life. Honestly, there's definitely movies on here that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
And not to mention, there's also not much to pick from this year, unfortunately. My third one is The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland and
I still haven't watched that.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Awesome. Our fourth chair here. Oliver's annoying. My honorable mentions, though, is Fat Man, which is the Mel Gibson movie with
Great movie.
Santa.
Yep.
Very good. And because it was surprisingly good, Birds of Prey.
Oh, all right.
That is a huge surprise, TJ. I cannot believe you even put that in your honorable mentions. It was okay, but there are.
I thought
other
it was
movies
decent.
that...
I thought it was good.
Was fun.
No. The reason why I put it on wasn't because it was phenomenal. It was because it was a surprise. It was surprising.
And it was an honorable mention. It wasn't.
I was expecting it to be absolute trash, like Suicide Squad, and it wasn't. It was decent.
Yeah.
The thing about that movie is that if they didn't kill off, spoiler alert, if they didn't kill off Ewan McGregor's Black Mask, he was fucking awesome in that movie. Like, he was so good in that movie, but the rest of it was just, I don't know, it was just okay.
Yeah. All right.
Continue. Ryan, you can go first on this one. I can probably still hear you, but my battery's dying. Got to grab my charger.
Okay. I'm gonna kick it off with games then, and then Bill, you could take it from me. Okay. This was probably the hardest category for me. I'm just gonna start with Hades. That game has consumed the last month and a half of my life. It's just so well made, and it's just the perfect loop, and so easy to be addicted to. Everything about it, from the gameplay to the art style, and the theming, it's amazing. And then number 2 would have to be The Last of Us Part 2. It's one of those things that I didn't know I wanted, and it showed me something that I didn't know could be done. We could talk for hours about this game.
We have.
It's unlike anything I've ever experienced in any media, just to put it as simply as possible. And I don't know if I could ever play it again, but I really want to, but I'll never experience it the same way again. And it was something completely new for me, and really messed with me mentally. I mean, it's incredible what that game did. And then I'm going to say This is where things can be moved in and around.
Is this your number 1 or is this your number 3?
This would be 3. This would be 3.
Okay.
I would go Hades and Last of Us, which those are pretty much interchangeable.
Okay.
But I went Hades first just because Last of Us was like, it is just a lot. I'm gonna say Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have lived many years of my life hearing about Final Fantasy VII, and I had never played it. So this was my first experience with that series, or not that series because I've played other Final Fantasies, but I've never played 7. And it was really, really well done. It was a ton of fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. Honorable mentions go out to the Avengers game just for the fun of playing it. Tony Hawk, which, again, going back and replaying that, the nostalgia of it. And I am halfway, probably not quite halfway, through Miles Morales, and I am having an absolute blast. First game I ever played with ray tracing on, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen on my TV.
Would you say
God.
It's more fun than even the
I'm
Spider-Man
only,
game, the first one?
like I said, I'm maybe halfway, and it just now starting to click. I'm just now starting to click where I'm like, okay, so what, L1 and square to do? L1 is those, and it's like starting to become second nature to do and to move the way I should be moving, and it is so good. It is so good. Everything about it so far, I just love those games. So I'm sure that would have made its way into my top 3, but I haven't beaten it yet. So yeah.
I'll go next then. I think I'm going to start with my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Because they're a surprise to me by what I really liked the most. So honorable mention number 1 would be Beat Saber. I know
that was my honorable mention as well.
Yeah, this is not a new game by any means, but we got a VR this year, and that game had the biggest impact in our house. Like, Riker can fucking play expert plus levels on it. I almost cried watching him play this game. Like, I saw my son grow up from a boy to a man. It's the first game that I really believe, Ryan, that Liz can beat you at, like, in terms of like music games. So 100%, that's I think my only honorable mention. Man, this is gonna be really tough.
I know.
So Last of Us 2, I think would be my number 3. Maybe my number 2. So let's just say all these games are interchangeable. Okay. I played a Last of Us game before, so this was more of the same in terms of gameplay, but really an experience in terms of story. So an experience, and I remember crying, and Liz was crying, and it's in my top 3. So that's why it's in here. Man, this is gonna sound crazy, but Resident Evil 3, I would say, is also one of my honorable mentions, maybe, because I can't decide between that and Saints and Sinners, The Walking Dead, the VR game.
Oh yeah.
That was just so much fun. Like, it made loading guns fun. Like running from zombies. It's what you would want to experience in a zombie VR game. Like that kind of sense of dread. Man, fuck. I guess Ghost of Tsushima would be also in there as well. From start to finish, it was kind of like awe-inspiring, like in terms of like it was, yes, it was open world, it was formulaic in terms of like it felt very Assassin's Creed-ish, that kind of thing. But just being a samurai, and the story was very surprising.
Yeah. It kind of felt like that game went a little under the radar and didn't get the full appreciation that it deserved because of when it came out and things around it and everything. Yeah. I've heard such good things about it, and I haven't played it yet. And when I do, because I've heard such good things about Legends, I think we need to do the raid when I eventually play it, because that's supposed to be even better than the core game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep. So, okay, TJ.
Yeah, I had Beat Saber as one of my honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my number 1 was Last of Us 2. I mean, Bill, you talked about the story. Yeah, I get the gameplay. We already had Last of Us 1. The story is all you need to make that game probably the best game, one of the best games I've ever played. I don't know if I could say the best, but
it's up there.
Even in normal gameplay, like everybody had a name, like it made you care about like what you were doing, even in normal gameplay. Like it was fucking incredible, fucking incredible. Kind of a weird one. I don't even know if you guys know that I play this game, but I probably played this game more than any other game this year. Is
Candy
Call
Crush.
of Duty Warzone.
Really?
No, not Call of Duty Crush. Yeah, I play that a lot with friends from work.
Cool.
So yeah, I play that a lot, so I had to put that on there. But also, probably my number 2 out of all of these is God of War.
Yes, it is. I was like, he better not forget he played God of War.
Yeah. So I mean, even God of War was like, it was a phenomenal game. Like, if it wasn't for
Dude,
Last
you
of Us
had a
2, that
year
would-
then, man. Between God of War and Last of Us 2 in the same year.
Yeah.
2 of the best
Good
games
year.
I ever played.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So,
TJ, how about you kick us off with comic books, and then we'll finish up with TV shows after that.
Comics? Okay. Well, I didn't really do any honorable mentions, but is Koba drinking some water there?
He is drinking water. I just, you guys can hear it through my headphones better than I can hear it because I have like the over-the-ear thing. So, all right, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, I'll add an honorable mention here. The only reason why it wasn't on the list is because there's only 2 issues out so far, and it's crossover. Is my honorable mention.
Is Oliver Meow in there a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's awesome so far. Can't wait to continue that. There's just not enough right now to really put it on the list. My number 1 though, hands down, without question, is Redneck. Redneck was like my find of the year. It's Donny Cates, fucking amazing. Definitely one of like the best comics that I've read in years.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Firepower, new this year, and number 3 is Stillwater.
Nice. Mine's pretty quick here. And again, I think I was going a little bit more towards like impact and what like single issue type things really impact, because ongoing, I have honorable mentions being Walking Dead Deluxe, Stillwater, Department of Truth, and of course Oblivion Song. Those were all comic books that I enjoyed this year. I also got to give a shout out to reading Power Rangers for the first time and rereading Saga. Amazing. But my top 3 would have to be Crossover issue 1 and Solid Blood issue 17. 2 very random things, but I loved them both. Similarly, for the same reason that the other one on here, Firepower, because I sat down and read all 3 of those things without really knowing what to expect, and each one of them just blew me away and just was so fun and had that like thrill of, you know, when we were years ago, TJ, we used to always try and do the thing where we don't watch trailers for things and then go in and do it. That's kind of what all 3 of those felt like for me this year, where it was sitting down and just having this experience, and so that those 3 take it for me.
It's funny that you went like, I went by series, and that's why I didn't, put certain things in there, because a lot of things are like just starting out. But going off of what you're saying, Crossover would be my number 1, because that first issue, and I know like Bill fucking Bill is fucking hates everything, but Crossover number 1 is one of the best first issues of anything I've ever read. Yeah. So that's definitely, if I'm going by single issues, Crossover.
Oh my God.
Right,
I still can't believe you guys say that. I can't believe you say that.
Sorry.
All right, what's your top 3, Bill?
So I can't believe that neither one of you said my number 1.
I know.
Fucking Curse of the White Knight.
So when I was doing this, I couldn't remember. Was that this year?
That was July. That was summer.
That was summer?
No.
That feels like 2 years ago.
White Knight was
I know.
2018
but
or something
Curse
like
was
that,
this
which
year?
I also read this year. And then Curse of the White Knight was this year, Ryan. We were talking about it this summer.
All right,
this past summer.
that's on the list.
Oh, well,
Crap.
you have to take something off.
Crap. No, go on. What else you got?
So I really only read because if I don't, I read Redneck, which isn't on my list because I didn't really. I've read the first trade, I think, but it's on my list. So Curse of the White Knight I devoured. I couldn't wait until it came out. Stillwater I'm really thoroughly enjoying, and then obviously Firepower.
Yeah.
Like I read the least amount out of everybody here, but those 3 comic books like aren't just ones that I've read. I only read and continue to read things that I really fucking love. But fuck, Curse of the White Knight, like by leaps and bounds ahead of everything else that was on my list and your lists for that matter.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't mention one.
What'd you forget?
The Descendant or whatever.
Something is killing the children is fucking phenomenal. Something is killing the children.
Yeah, Bill, didn't you know, like, you didn't read?
No, I remember I was in a comic shop and Riker was like, "What is this? Something's killing the children," and that's what we talked about. But I didn't read that yet. No.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to kick off our final topic with our final section here with TV shows?
TJ would have to, because I started with movies, you started with games, and then TJ would start with this.
I did comics.
Okay, well then, Bill, back to you.
Oh shit!
Do you need us to go first?
I can start. Like, it doesn't matter.
I'll start. I got
mine.
Ryan?
Go ahead.
All right. I only have 3. I don't have any honorable mentions. I'm sure there's some, and when you guys say it, I'll say, yeah, that was good. But off the top of my head, the 3 were Mandalorian Season 2. Amazing. What else can be said? I thought that they did everything right, and did things better than Season 1 across the board. Queen's Gambit, similar to what I said about comic books, it was just a total unexpected, I didn't know I wanted this type of thing. And one of the few things that I binged this year. And then The Boys Season 2. I feel like a lot similar to Mando. It greatly improved on Season 1. I felt the same way about Mando Season 1 as I did Boys Season 1, and I think I feel the same way about Boys Season 2 as I did Mando Season 2. It was great. So I'm going to say those 3. TJ?
All right. So it was a lonely year, guys. It was a lonely year.
You got so many.
I have 6 honorable mentions.
Holy shit.
Oh my god. Maybe I should go. Maybe I was
going to say, Bill, you should go first.
All right. So shows that like I devoured, and nothing's really like coming to mind, but things that were like an event in our household. Raised by Wolves on HBO. We fucking love that. That was like every week when it came out, we sat down and watched it. I'm not finished with it, but Queen's Gambit is absolutely like we watched. Anything that keeps me up past 1 a.m. to watch it is something that like I have to list. Also, Big Mouth, the new season of Big Mouth came out. That we watched in 2 nights. I would say that's maybe an honorable mention because I really feel strongly about this, Ryan, and you didn't, but Wayne. I think that's a huge surprise. That's probably one of TJ's honorable mentions.
It just barely made
but like with the quickness that I watched it, that's kind of how I'm like judging these things. Minus Raised by Wolves because it was weekly, I would say that it would be those shows. Surprisingly, Bly Manor isn't really on my list. Like it was good.
Oh yeah.
TJ, you came over and we watched that pretty much over the course of 4 weeks. Had one episode that was like holy shit, but other than that, I guess I would say that's an honorable mention.
I thought it was good. I had it on honorable mentions, so I'll go through my honorable mentions first.
Mandalorian, obviously. Go ahead. Sorry.
I can tell you right now, there's, and Ryan, there are shows that are getting about. Upload. I loved Upload. It's on Amazon Prime. Ryan, I know that you watched it. You thought it was just okay, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So TJ, you said Upload. Sorry, the audio was getting a little screwy there for a second. So it actually caught up, and I think we're all good. But I don't think we missed anything. TJ, Upload. Yeah, okay. I thought it was fun.
So yeah, you thought it was good. You didn't think it was anything special. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to season 2. Harley Quinn animated series.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. Yes,
yeah, we watched that this year too.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I'm also squeezing in an honorable mention because I didn't have one. Katie and I are 3 episodes into Dickinson. Very good.
Okay.
That is something that you would say and how you would say it. Very good. Yes. With like a cup of tea in your hand.
Oh,
it is very
Dickinson.
Good.
Dickinson, very good.
You guys know what it is, right?
Very good. No, of course not.
The Haley Steinfeld,
Emily
like
Dickinson?
Yeah, Emily Dickinson, like kind of somewhat modern, but not.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool. Anyways, go on.
All right, so Upload, Harley Quinn, Bly Manor I did mention because I thought the story was good. It wasn't scary, but the story was good. Raised by Wolves was excellent all the way through. I personally didn't like the ending of season 1, but we'll see where it goes. I mentioned Wayne. which was incredible. My last honorable mention, and Bill, I guarantee you forgot about this one. Dave.
Oh, fuck.
Such a good.
You know what?
Show.
I take it back. That overthrows Wayne, which is weird because they're just
I had it higher
single
for me
names. 100% Dave.
Yep.
1000%. And I also want to change one of my top 3 to F is for Family. I also forgot season 4 of F is for Family came out, which I like more than Big Mouth. Go ahead.
Okay. So my top 3. Schitt's Creek, which fucking destroyed the enemies.
Yeah.
And it was like the whole thing, like it's so good.
Yeah.
How it's like funny and then it gets emotional as it goes along. Like I watched all 6 seasons.
Jeez.
This year. I just started watching and completely caught up on Ozark this year.
Oh my God, I
suck.
suck.
Ozark is an incredible show, and I started with season 1 when the pandemic first started and watched all of those episodes too. And then my last one, which you both still need to watch because I really do think that it's brilliant. Honestly, this might be my number 1. Devs, DEVS, fucking so good. It's so smart and emotional and it's so good. It's only one season. I want to say it's like 8 episodes, 8 1-hour episodes. Amazing show. Amazing. So yeah, Schitt's Creek, Ozark, Devs, Dave, Wayne, Raised by Wolves, Bly Manor, Harley Quinn, and Upload.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I definitely forgot about Harley Quinn. That probably at least would have gotten my honorable mentions.
I just had to mute my line so I could yell at Liz for not helping me remember Dave and Ozark because like Dave we watched in I think 2 days and then Ozark same thing. Phenomenal shows.
Yeah.
Excellent job, TJ. You helped me out with that one.
I had a busy year too, so with shows.
All right. That does it, guys. That was a fun episode. I think every single thing from the news to our predictions and our top 3s, that was a lot of fun. So thank you all for listening. If you'd like to write to us, again, we are theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us across all the social medias and whatnot. The outro song that is playing is a song by Wyatt Layne. It's called An Old Song. You could find Wyatt Layne's music over on Soundcloud, Apple Music, Spotify. And then that does it. That does it for our first episode in 2021. Thank you all for listening. Have a great night. Bye.
Okay,
bye.
Anything else Guys, any last minute resolutions, sign offs, anything you'd like to leave this final episode or this first episode with?
No, I think we said it all for 2020, and we said a lot.
We did.
I want to make like a crazy, ridiculous prediction.
Crazy off the wall. Ready? Saga comes back.
Saga will come back. I think Saga will come back this year.
Yeah.